Hello, friends, and welcome to the Homewrecker Podcast, where we wreck and shatter conventional wisdom and ways of thinking by bringing alternative viewpoints to light in an attempt to not only change the thoughts and feelings most people accept as reality, but to obliterate them completely. I'm your host, the Golden Greek Alex Arion, joined as always by my beautiful, lovely, gorgeous, amazing wife, the lovely Monique.
Holla. Hi.
Holla.
Holla.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Fantastic as always.
Woo!
All right, then.
So, couple things before we begin, if I may.
You may.
One, before I forget, I am doing a group hypnotherapy session on Tuesday, May 10th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It's online, it's on Zoom. It's an inner child heal and play group hypnotherapy session, and tickets are available through Eventbrite. The link will be in the show notes. So if you're interested in doing some awesome inner child work, sign up.
Do it.
Yeah. Now, this is the more important thing I wanted to get to because I thought it was pretty cool.
Okay.
Did you know that on the day this episode airs is exactly 3 years to the day we aired our very first episode of
So this
podcast.
is our 3-year anniversary podcast?
Yes, April 20th.
Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yes.
I can't believe we've been doing this for 3 years.
I know.
Wow.
Yes.
And we're still this bad. Amazing.
Our very first episode was about aliens and UFOs.
Why wouldn't it be?
Right?
Wow, no kidding. Wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I just thought that was really cool because I happened to notice it's like, shit, we've been doing this for 3 years now. So
pretty cool.
And you know, knock on wood, we haven't missed an episode yet. Every week we've consistently put something out.
Sometimes even more than one episode.
Oh yeah, we have more than we have a lot of extra bonus episodes and whatnot.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So how are you this week?
How am I? I'm well. Fantastic as always.
Yeah.
And yourself? You're great.
Peach keen, knee socks, and lollipops.
What?
I said I'm peachy keen, knee socks, and lollipops.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, then. That's wonderful.
Mm.
So what are we going to talk about this week, my beautiful lady?
We're doing a movie review.
Oh.
On a very profound movie that
profound
has not only
prescient
has not only paved way for the future, but one could say predicted the future, or even manifested the future with it. We are talking about the 2006 comedy Idiocracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's kind of
a little scary.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. I was going to say this one's kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
In that you can see it kind of starting to take shape now, and it's not okay. So why don't we get into it? Do you want to give the synopsis of the film?
This is from IMDb.
Oh.
Private Joe Bowers, a decisively average American, is selected as a guinea pig for a top secret hibernation program, but is forgotten. Awakening to a future so incredibly moronic, he's easily the most intelligent person alive. That sums it up.
Yeah, that's the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's directed and written by Mike Judge,
mm-hmm.
who a lot of people will know from Beavis and Butthead
and King of the Hill,
creator of that show and King of the Hill. Yes.
And something that I read about this that I want to share is he actually allegedly came up with the idea for the film.
Allegedly.
Well, it says
is this guy, are we on trial? What is this? Allegedly.
Well, I don't know if you can believe this stuff. Came up with the idea for the film while he was visiting Disneyland with his family and saw two mothers, both with kids in strollers, fighting and cursing at each other. He thought it would be horrible if humanity was like this in the future. Well, thank you, Mike Judge, because you basically manifested it, apparently. No, I say allegedly because I wonder, is that just what they say? Or is it predictive programming? I don't know. I just wonder.
Well, how is that predictive programming?
We've watched the movie.
No,
We know where we are today.
No, I'm talking about, you say allegedly, talking about what you just read,
Yeah.
that little bit of trivia. How is that little bit of trivia predictive programming?
The trivia isn't, the movie is. So his saying, this is how I got the idea for the film. Is that really the truth? Or was it something that was kind of given to him or told like, hey, this is what we want you to do or go with this?
Yeah, okay. The way you worded it, you made it sound like
He was
trivia was predictive programming.
No.
And I'm saying, how's that predictive programming?
No.
Okay. I just want to be clear.
Okay. That's cool.
All right. So anyway, Mike Judge, as I was trying to say, King of the Hill, Beavis and Butthead, he wrote and directed this. He also did the movie Office Space, which we both enjoyed.
1999.
Phenomenal movie. And the HBO series Silicon Valley, which you never watched, but I loved that show. I thought it was fantastic. So yeah, Mike Judge, he does a lot of cool stuff, a lot of enjoyable stuff, I think. And this is one of those movies.
Yeah. So this is starring Luke Wilson, Maya Rudolph, Dax Shepard, Terry Crews, and there's a bunch of other people in it as well, kind of secondary, but those are more the main characters.
There's a bunch of other people in the movie.
Oh my God, yes. I know I do that. I was going to get
so
to
many
it.
people in this movie.
There are actors in this movie. And
that's my favorite.
People.
Oh, there's so many people in it. Oh, no kidding.
Meaning I'll get to the names eventually if I do.
Right. Okay.
So essentially, like we said, this guy is in the military. He and Rita, played by Maya Rudolph,
who is a prostitute.
Yes.
A working girl, if you will.
Get put into hibernation.
A sex worker.
Yes. For the oldest profession for a military project that's
turning
top
tricks
secret.
for money.
Yeah. And her pimp upgrade. Basically pimped her out to do this project. She
charges by the hour.
Yeah. I can wait so good. Bet you can.
So yeah, there's a lot of So anyway, essentially Luke Wilson volunteer. No, he doesn't really volunteer.
Voluntold.
He's exactly. That's a better way of putting it. He's told that he's going to be taking part in this experiment where he's going to hibernate for a year, essentially to test out this stuff. And the person in charge of the project gets kicked out of the military
because he basically got into the pimp game.
Because he got into the pimp game, right?
Yeah. But the thing with this character, Luke Wilson's character, Joe Bowers, he's totally average, completely average at everything.
And he just, I think, what was his job? He's basically
working in like a library,
sits and watches TV, but he's in the military or whatever. Anyway,
when they tell me to lead, follow, or get out of the way, I get out of the way.
I get out of the way. Yeah. Yeah.
That's to embarrass you to lead or at least follow. Yeah, there's a lot of really awesome, memorable lines, quotes from this movie that thinking today about a lot of the words and things that are said might be considered not appropriate.
Yeah, we can't use a lot of that language now
because people get offended.
And we'd probably get kicked off of.
No,
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, which is kind of funny because as much as this movie, it feels like it's coming true in certain ways. That's the one thing where nobody is offended in this movie.
No, they're the opposite of it, actually.
They just don't give a fuck. And I think that's kind of the one good thing where you can say what you want and people don't care.
I mean, we've had this talk before. There's no such thing as a bad word. It's just bad intent behind the words. But nowadays, everybody's so sensitive. You can't say anything. It's like, okay, whatever. So yeah, in the interest of not getting kicked off of any platforms that host our show, we're not going to repeat some of these words.
We're not.
No, because why? Do you want to get kicked off for a movie review because you want to say go watch the movie? People figure out exactly what we're talking about, and it's quite honestly, it's funny. I don't care. It's funny.
It's really funny.
It's funny. Yeah.
I want to mention the names of the people in this movie.
Sure.
So when
the character names
and little things that I picked up on when Joe goes to the hospital, the girl checking him in, her name is like Big E's, like Bigeez.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Lexus, played by Justin Long.
Dude, your shit's fucked up, dude. You're like, you're so like.
When I have when something like this happens, I just kind of okay, that'll be this many dollars. And you got during rehabilitation, Beef Supreme.
Yes.
The newscasters. We're going to take you live to Formica Davis. And she gets on, thank you, Velveeta. Frito, played by Dax Shepard.
Frito. Awesome.
There's just the names. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Very, very. Yeah. It's like they used like products. It was almost like a product placement kind of thing, but
they were clever with that, with the whole showing the evolution of Fuddruckers.
Yes, Fuddruckers evolved or devolved, I guess you could say,
to butt fuckers, which when I first heard of Fuddruckers, that was the first thing that popped in my mind. So I don't know, maybe I belong in that future, because that's exactly where my mind went when I saw that place.
And they're showing it, and they're having like kids' birthday parties. They show the name of it
as the kid's birthday party. Yeah.
And it's funny.
Welcome to Carl's Jr.
Oh my goodness.
You didn't give me any damn fries. I can't feed my kids. Carl's Jr. Oh, you can't feed your kids. Carl's Jr. has determined that you're a bad mother. Your children will be taken away and put in the care of Carl's Jr.
Yeah. So there was
it's a lot of product placement. The Brondo, which is supposed to be Gatorade, it's got electrolytes.
It's got what plants crave. And so apparently in this future, there's no crops.
Dust.
And there's dust everywhere because nothing is being watered, because the corporation Brondo, which makes this electrolyte drink like a Gatorade, has bought everything and wants their stuff used to water plants. And obviously
now water is used in the toilet.
Water is only used in the toilet. People don't even drink water in this future.
Yeah, they show a baby and drinking the Brondo out of a bottle.
So just ridiculous.
But basically these scientists didn't want to focus on the important things, and they focused on like growing hair and longer lasting erections. So this is the future that happened, and all the smart people died out.
Yeah. So very, very interesting way to get to that future. But that's what it said. Now, I don't think, there were certain aspects of the movie, obviously, that I don't think we're going in that direction for that, but there were other things that they showed that are scarily, eerily kind of, I think, where we are kind of heading right now. One of those things being the wrist. Everybody's got a barcode tattooed on their wrist.
UPC code tattooed on them.
Yes.
And Joe didn't have one, and he was an unscannable.
Yes, he was called an unscannable. And
where's your tattoo?
Yeah. So everybody's got a tattoo, and that's how they pay for things. Scannable. Does that sound kind of familiar? Does that sound a little familiar to anybody that maybe is kind of paying attention to what's going on in the world nowadays? Is that where we're heading? Are we all going to have a tattoo?
I remember
I don't think I'm
years
going to get
ago.
one.
No, but I even remember years ago people talked about like, oh, you could just get a tattoo of a barcode and then have that. And now it's gone from tattoos and barcodes to microchips and implanting microchips in you to get access to work. I mean, there are actually places that I've heard for corporations that you can have a microchip implanted in your wrist to get in and out of work, to pay for things like when you go to the work cafeteria.
Right. Yeah.
And people voluntarily do it. They think it's cool.
All in the name of convenience, all in the
Mhm.
name of technology, and yeah, I don't get it. But that's a big part of this movie is that yeah, everybody's got one of those barcodes.
And one of the things when you think about a UPC code, that stands for Universal Purchase Code, which to me comes off like we are just something that is purchased because we're the ones wearing the barcode essentially, if this movie were real. And we're just a thing. We're not actually sovereign beings. We're not individuals. We are just a product here to serve a limited purpose. Like greeting people at Costco. Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's pretty, yeah. Another thing, the barcode, it gets picked up by surveillance cameras all
Well, they
around,
have these
right?
scanners.
Those right. So and obviously it's tied into everything. So at one point the main character gets he's on the run essentially, and because he escapes from jail in the most ridiculous way possible. But anyway, so he's escaped convict now, on the run, and his barcode gets picked up by something.
He moves his arm there in the car. He's with Frito, and he lifts his hand up, and it just happens to go by something that scanned it because it's just a light that shines for a barcode going by.
And immediately it's like the Internet of Things that they're talking about doing now. It goes off everywhere, so everybody knows that this car has this guy in it. Mm-hmm. And the car gets stopped.
It's an electric
car. It
gets
shut off. Mm-hmm. So it can't move. He can't drive.
And what are they doing right now? They're pushing electric cars. And I've always been very wary of electric cars because anything that's so computerized, could somebody get in, even just with computerized in general? Like, can somebody try to stop it? But especially with electric, it's just so much more easy to control you and prevent you from going places if people wanted you to not go.
Right. And yeah, and obviously electric cars are going to limit movement because you can only go so far till you get a charge it, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, those cross-country trips probably aren't going to happen much anymore once we go all electric, everybody. So yeah, that was interesting. And then also the police then show up and no questions asked, no nothing. They immediately just open fire on the vehicle and just start destroying it and blowing it up. Like, okay, so obviously in that future there's no
real
justice. It's just kind of the authority figures show up and just shoot you.
And when you think about how stupid they are, they just, you see them, there's like a rocket launcher going up, it hits an airplane. There's, guys shooting up in the air.
Yeah, it was, yeah. So yeah, just that's kind of yikes. Mm-hmm. Like that's where we're heading.
And in terms of getting scanned, and then just his face when he was at Costco, and you see a picture of him on screen and it's like wanted for being a dick, which is an awesome charge.
Yes.
But with that, it just makes you think again of that connectivity where instantly, whereas when you think about years ago, if you were searching for somebody, the steps that it took to get your picture out there. And now with technology and social media, somebody's picture can be up within seconds and that information is spread all over. And it can be useful in certain ways, but it's also a little scary when you think about how, especially where people don't get the full story. And a lot of times these quote unquote journalist, they just speculate, and that's the news you're given, and it's to take it as truth until you hear otherwise. And they just make shit up and speculate and say, here you go, that's what it is, when it's not necessarily true. And so for, again, this guy who's not a criminal but painted as one, and to be out there, it's really scary to think of, we're so close to that. We are so close to that.
For sure. Yeah. It's yeah, it's it's definitely scary. But yeah, so seeing that was just very yeah, it's crazy, especially in the last couple of years, just seeing how we're like fast tracking. That's where we're heading.
And I
so hopefully
like,
it stops. Hopefully we all wake up and resist a little bit, maybe
I hope
push
so.
back a little bit.
One of the things that I kind of pick up on seeing is the lack of caring for a lot of people. So you see these employees at places and they just don't care. They're there. They're going through the motions. They probably don't want to be there. And I've experienced and witnessed that a lot with customer service and even doctors' offices where you're bothering them by showing up. And that's the mentality at a lot of places where there's no more friendliness, there's no more caring. People don't want to be there, but they have to be. And it's almost like, I'm going to be miserable, so let me make you miserable too. Or there's just complete like no caring.
Just apathy.
Yeah, complete apathy. Yeah. And that's something that one of those similarities where I've noticed that's kind of parallel to this movie.
Yeah, scary, scary stuff. The president is a porn star. He's
wrestler.
He's a wrestler, and I can see. I don't know if it's gonna happen for sure, but I can totally see in the next 10 years, maybe, I can totally see The Rock.
And the president's first name is Dwayne.
Is it in the movie? Yeah. Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Wow.
President Camacho, his first name is Dwayne. Wow. He has like a few other names in between.
Wow.
Yes, no it's kidding. Dwayne.
No kidding. I didn't pick up on that. I thought it was just Camacho. I didn't get his first name. No
coincidence?
Kidding.
Or
yikes.
Synchronicity.
Very interesting. But yes, I totally see The Rock running for president at some point. I mean, I think
he even said he's thought about it or something.
We haven't seen the show Young Rock, but I believe that's the premise of that show. Is he is sitting down. I think it takes. He's sitting down giving an interview and reminiscing, talking about his younger days as he's giving like an interview with somebody about running for president. I think like, because I read somewhere like when the first show came out, I think it like the show opens in like 2032 or something, and he's talking about, yeah, I'm running for president or something like that, and he talks about where he came from and how he came up, and then it goes into like the past and his Young Rock days or whatever, something like that. Anyway, but I could totally see him absolutely running for president at some point, and it would not shock me at all if he won, at all. Would he be the best person for the job? Well, really, come on. Is anybody really doing one person doing that job? Come on. Obviously we all know they're puppets and figureheads, but I could totally see him being selected
he's a
for
good
that.
Actor.
Oh yeah. And he's charismatic and people will listen, and yeah, for sure. So that was interesting, and I can see that definitely being something that happens in the near future.
Yeah. Yeah, again, it's one of those movies that to me is very weird because it's highly entertaining. It's extremely funny. There's all these quotes that are just so fun to say. Then it's also just, when you think about where we are now, especially when I first watched that movie, I loved it, but I thought, that's really scary, and I could see us heading there in the future. It wouldn't shock me. And then as time went on, because this movie is what, 16 years old now?
Yes, came out in 06, I believe.
06, yeah.
2006.
It's like we're in the year 25. What is it, 25?
I think I think so. It takes place like 500
500
years into the
years.
future or something.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to take us 500 years to get to a lot of those things. I hope we don't ever become stupid like the way the people in the movie are portrayed. It wouldn't shock me if a portion of the population goes that way, because I see a portion of the population that way now, not to the extremes as depicted in the movie, but a lot of dumb people out there.
Well, one of the
Unfortunately,
interesting things is in the beginning, they show how the population got like that because you have the really smart people who are saying, oh, no, we're not going to have children yet. We're going to, we have our career. It's not time. We have so much we want to do. And then, oh, the market's not good. And then we're having trouble having a baby because we're so much older by the time we're ready. Whereas these not so intelligent people are just like breeding bunnies just constantly, and then their kids are breeding bunnies, and so it just spreads.
was it the football player? He's he's like a high school kid,
Yeah,
right?
Cleavon Jr.
Yeah. He's like got his arm around like 4 or 5 girls.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck all of you.
And then it shows all those chicks getting pregnant, having babies, and it's just like spreading.
Oh, so yeah. Just anyway.
But so they show how this happens. And some of the interesting things that I see as the comparison for real life with what I see, a lot of people who, yes, they're like people who don't care and they have babies, but I feel like there are a lot of intelligent people who have kids. And then there are the people who, I'm not saying they're intelligent, but there's so many people who don't want to have kids, whether they just don't want kids or they have their career. So I don't see it necessarily as a smart versus dumb thing. I just see it as either you're having kids or you're not. I mean, we have 3 kids and we're not dumb.
I don't think we're dumb.
Yeah.
But
So just kind of comparing that. And also, everyone says the earth is so overpopulated. The United States is so overpopulated, but it's really not. And in the past couple of years, there were studies that showed that the population decreased because people aren't having kids.
I
So I found that an interesting contrast.
Yeah. I read somewhere, I think, because I got into this argument with my brother a while back about overpopulation, and I asked him, I said, look, because he does a lot of travel for his job. I asked him, I said, when you drive somewhere or you're flying somewhere and you look down, do you just see people everywhere? No, you see people in the cities. There is so much space and land that is not populated. There is so much open space and there's so much room. And you could fit, from a thing I read, you could fit the entire world's population in the state of Texas. The earth's not overpopulated. That's bullshit.
And is it like each person gets like
and each person could
so
have
much space?
like an acre of land or something like that. And yeah, it's ridiculous. So to anybody that says the earth's overpopulated, no, it's not. That's nonsense. And anybody that ever travels outside of their city, if you ever drive through Pennsylvania, for example, there's woods and forest everywhere.
Go to northern Maine.
Come on, to say that the earth's overpopulated. No, it's not overpopulated. It's actually trending the other way now.
But even with that, it doesn't matter in terms of population if you have people just devolving.
Right. Yeah. But anyway, I
was talking about the contrast
how did we get there?
Okay. The population of like dumb people.
Okay. Well, but I think in the future we're going to see, I don't think it's necessarily the intelligence that drops. I think it's the awareness that drops more than anything. Because I think inherently humans are intelligent, but it's how controllable are we?
Well, it just
how moldable are our psyches, our personalities and things.
Because it just popped in my head as you were talking about, and we've said it before, people aren't taught to think anymore.
Correct.
And I know people who just, they don't want to think for themselves. They just want to be told what to do. Just, okay, what do you want? Just tell me. Tell me what you want to do. I don't want to think for myself. I don't want to have to do anything more. Just tell me so I can do it and get it done. And maybe that's because people don't want to they're not being taught to think for themselves. I don't know. I feel like it's a mix between programming and laziness. But I
It's
feel like the program brings the laziness, and the laziness allows the programming to get deeper. It's like a vicious circle.
right. Yeah, you're not just born lazy. That's something you're taught. That's something you learn either by observation or by programming, like you said. I think that I mean, if you grow up and you're raised just to sit and watch TV, and if you need food, you just go to your fridge or you go to the grocery store. You're not really having to do anything. So yeah, you're especially the last few generations, you've been conditioned to have everything convenient. And then especially in more recent years, everything is more instant, the instant gratification now. So the mechanism that we have as humans to work hard, that's been kind of taken out.
Yeah.
It's been bred out, not bred out of us, but it's been conditioned out of us, out of
Mhm.
most of us. Everybody's afraid to work hard now because why should I work hard? What
Well,
do I have to work for?
technology has taken
Te-
away a lot of that hard work,
right.
the physical labor for many people.
Right. And then the instant gratification, nobody wants to work hard to achieve and attain anything because I want it now. I don't want to wait. I want to have a pill that will get me slimmer, that will help me lose weight. I don't want to work out. I don't want to eat right. I don't want to do anything.
You know what's funny? You say, because I don't want to wait. And I thought that's how I feel when I plant my seeds for my garden. I don't want to wait for my seeds to sprout. I want them to grow now. That's just my excitement.
Yeah, but I mean, but
But I still wait.
yeah. But what I'm saying is that's collectively as a society, as humans now,
Mhm.
that's what's been happening.
I have to wait more than 2 days to get my package from Amazon. What the fuck?
Do you remember growing up? It was
6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks.
Yes.
And yeah. So you would have to send it out for something. And so obviously it takes time for it to go from you
Usually
to
a couple
wherever.
weeks. Yeah.
And then they get it and they got to open it, read it, process it, package it, put it
Like
in the
this,
mail
yeah.
and send it back to you. And
Like
that
the
would take
cereal
like,
box tops, if you wanted
yeah,
to get a certain kind of prize, you had to collect so many of like the thing on the box top and you'd have to mail them in to get a certain prize.
I I remember sending away for a GI Joe figure. It was William the Refrigerator Perry was a GI Joe, but they didn't sell them in the store. You had to send away for it, and I don't remember if you had to collect something and send whatever, however you did it, and I sent away for it. I remember I knew it was going to take a while because they tell you it's right there, but I still would check the mail every single day. Every single day. I mean, I put the darn thing in the mailbox, and the next day I'm checking. Did it come?
Oh,
I know
yeah.
it did, but that's what you're doing.
For me, it would get to the point where I kind of forget about it. And then a month later, it shows up.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what we had to do growing up, and that was a couple decades ago now, but still.
Oh my gosh. Think about growing up. We had to wait. If you were like me and you woke up at the crack ass of dawn at like 4 a.m., you'd have to watch snow on the TV until you got the bars, until you got the national anthem, which, by the way, has subliminal programming in it. But you had to wait for TV.
Yeah. Yep.
We're used to waiting, I guess. But yeah,
I'm not used to it anymore. I mean,
it's true.
you know,
We all get conditioned.
yeah, and I mean now I'm trying to get back to that in a way. I'm trying not to be so I need this now, I want this now.
Yeah.
But I mean, for crying out loud, I'll turn my laptop on and I'll be sitting there and it boots up quick. But I have a second laptop and I will go to use that for something and I'll go to boot that up and it's 5 years old and the thing takes 20 seconds to load up. And I'm sitting there like, come on, let's go. Why is this working? Let's go. like piece of garbage. I'm getting mad at the thing because I'm so used to the laptop I use now, my newer laptop, which just boots up just like this. It's 15, 20 seconds, but I find myself getting upset because it's not as fast.
Fuck, remember America Online?
Oh,
where like you
yeah.
had to like dial in and then hear like that
Oh, it was like
sound.
I mean, it was probably like 45 seconds legitimately.
Maybe a minute and a half sometimes, depending on your
Sure.
connection.
But I mean, could you imagine sitting there waiting now for that long just to get online? Could you imagine? No way. Never. I mean, kids now, if you tell kids, yeah, you'd have to sit and you'd have to hit this button, you'd have to wait, they'd think you're nuts.
Kids now had to dial with a rotary phone. 9.
Oh my gosh.
And if you screwed up,
Rotary phone.
yeah.
I had a rotary phone until I think it was like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And then we got the push button phones, and it was like the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, we had rotary phones and they're kind of a bitch. Try dialing really fast with that because you can't. But anyway, we've kind of gone off topic.
So we went way off topic there. Wow, we went way, way off course.
Yeah.
So back to that movie. Yeah, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to look at some of the funny things that were in the movie.
Okay.
There was an ad, a billboard for cigarettes.
Tarletons or tarletons, I forget.
I forget what the brand was, but there I had to pause it. I had to rewind and pause it because I noticed the Surgeon General's warning. And you know, cigarette ads, even obviously today they have the little warning from the Surgeon General that's on the pack of cigarettes. I believe it's still there. I don't smoke, I don't know. But in the advertisements of the Surgeon General's warning, well, they have it on still in the future in this movie. And what it says is, warning, the Surgeon General has one lung and a voice box, but he could still kick your sorry ass. So I thought that was funny.
That is, again, there are parts where I think, man, it's not that bad because there's some kind of badass awesomeness to it. Not everyone's walking around on eggshells. It just is what it is.
Yeah. Now, so I'm looking at the IMDb trivia for some of the stuff here. And what it says here is, in addition to concerns about how to market the film, 20th Century Fox also grew weary of the film's frequent harsh critiques of recognizable corporations. Studio executives wished to shuffle the movie to DVD shelves as quickly and quietly as possible. The film's contract, however, stipulated that it had to receive a theatrical release. The studio met the terms of the contract but provided no marketing for the film, released it in an unusually small number of cinemas in select cities, and pulled the film in all markets after only 1 week. So little effort was put into showing the film in theaters that some of the few cinemas that screened the film were forced to promote it as, quote, Untitled Mike Judge Project in their lists of coming attractions. So I thought that was interesting. They didn't want to piss off the corporations that were
what did we talk about a couple weeks ago with programming?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
and when you think about it, just to compare, Brondo, who owns just about everything, it was like half the country works for Brondo. Makes me think about the pharmaceutical company and just how like they control so much of everything.
Yeah. I mean, but that just goes to show you too, corporations essentially are what run everything now. That's what's running the show. It's not the government. The government's getting paid by corporations to make laws or to enforce certain things.
Absolutely.
And that's where we're at now. We don't live in a democracy. We never have. We're a constitutional republic. For anybody that knows the difference.
And you are its property.
But we haven't been run by a government in a long time. It's corporations that run the show. So
Alex, I want to ask you,
yes,
what's your favorite part of the movie, or maybe a favorite quote?
I don't know if I have a favorite part or anything like that. I mean, A favorite quote. I enjoyed the part where the main character,
Joe Bowers.
Joe Bowers, thank you, goes into the doctor's and meets with
Dr. Lexus.
Yeah, I thought Justin Long was hilarious. I thought his that whole interaction was hilarious and just really funny. So I enjoyed that part a lot. I don't know. I mean, there was a lot that was funny, but I don't know if I have like a favorite part. How about you?
It's hard for me because I'm thinking about all the parts of it and how great they are. The in the hospital with Justin Long, Dr. Alexis, that's great. I think when when he's trying to escape, when he's getting the presidential pardon and he's got to figure out the crops, and Rita comes and he's like, oh, because he wants to talk to her, and they're all looking at him. He's like, and doing like the finger in the hole. And they're like,
That's
oh,
right.
and then they come. So he's trying to like escape and go to the time machine. And Frito draws a map for him, and it's like time machine. And then like just a squiggly line, and then like you're here. But then one of the guys comes out. Was he one of the secretaries or was he a security guy? I can't
I think it was a
remember.
security
And
guy.
he's like, she putting out? He's like, oh yeah, no, she just did. A couple of guys and I were wondering if we could go out our family style. It's
That's
like, what the fuck?
That's right. Jeez. That's right. Family style.
Family style? The fuck? Yeah, that
Oh,
was there's
yeah.
so many like just totally ridiculous parts of this movie, and
Yes.
it's good. It's good shit.
You know what we've been doing for a lot of our movie reviews in the recent past is we've gone to the IMDb user reviews
Yes.
and read some reviews from people. We like to do the 1-star reviews for people that didn't like the movie, and also some of the 10-star reviews for people that loved it.
What do you want to do first? 1-star or 10-star?
I have not read any of these. I'm just scrolling through some 1-stars now because there's a lot of them. So I'm going to read
What?
some of those first.
That's shocking to me.
Why is that shocking to you?
It's only 1 star a lot.
Yeah, there's quite a few here.
What was the average?
The average rating was 6.5 stars out of 10. So it's kind of above average. It's not bad. Not bad.
Maybe because it's like a cult classic, perhaps. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's one of those movies. You didn't know it was out. It went right to DVD essentially. So you have the most ratings are 7s. So most people gave it a 7. So that's good. That seems to have the highest number here. But anyway, we like to go to the 1 and the 10 because those are always the funniest.
So let's do the 1s.
So let's do some 1s. All right, here we go. 1 star from Last Liberal from September 11th, 2007. The title of his review: the dumbest movie I have ever seen. Okay, I cannot believe that Beer Fest could ever be beaten. This is the absolute worst movie of all time. I don't know how anyone can think this was funny. There wasn't one laugh in it. It was more of a documentary on what is going to happen when NASCAR fans and reality show fans reproduce. I know that's cold, but they might find some humor in this. You have to be misogynistic, love fart jokes, and think that someone getting kicked in the balls is a hoot. What's up with that? Luke Wilson has made 3 movies that I know of with Will Ferrell. It has definitely screwed him up. He should buy the rights to this and destroy it. There you go.
Okay, that was weird. It's a dumb movie. It's kind of supposed to like that's the theme is dumbness.
That's kind of the point.
But yeah.
All right. Let's see.
I'm like thinking Will Ferrell isn't even in this movie.
He didn't say.
But he's saying Luke Wilson did movies with Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that has to do with this. I guess that reference went over my head.
I guess it did. I'll explain it to you later.
Oh.
Here's another one. 1 star from One Potato 2, March 12th, 2007. The title of this review: America. A beautiful 5-minute setup persuades you that America is heading for reproductive oblivion. This part is pretty funny, but it's all downhill from there, with a script written seemingly by either a numb SNL writer or a pro wrestler. It's a tired retread of Roman Coppola's equally awful Spirit of 76. Have you ever met anyone who describes themselves as a fan of Luke Wilson movies? I'm at a loss for what makes people go to a Luke Wilson movie. He has one style of delivering his lines, no matter what the part: sincerity with raised eyebrows. He's easy on the eyes, but I've never laughed at a single word that has come out of his mouth. Inexplicably, there he is, the lead in half a dozen comedies. Maya Rudolph breaks into film here with a part that's beneath her.
What's up with the hate for Luke Wilson? What the fuck did he do to anybody?
I don't know. Just the random one stars. That's what people are hating on Luke Wilson.
I liked Luke Wilson. I don't know.
All right. Here's another 1-star review. I wished this film had been better. I really did. By MP Murr, September 17th, 2007. Well, these are all 2007. So I read that Mike Judge borrowed the idea from C.M. Kornbluth's Marching Morons, but like most Hollywood films today, everyone borrows from someone else. So I watched this film wondering if Fox made the right decision to let this film sit around and then basically let it die a sad death. After 10 minutes, I realized that they made a good decision. It is bad. Not particularly bad acting. Maya Rudolph and Luke Wilson seemed more than adequate delivering their lines. It was not even a particularly bad idea. It's just that the idea didn't really materialize into anything more. The script was flat, one-dimensional, character-destroying, and just plain horrible. Some nice touches, mostly visual, but the script didn't make sense and the actors were forced to meander through a waste of 84 minutes of everyone's time. As I said, I really wanted to like this movie. I really did.
Okay, now I'm questioning it. Are people trying to look too much into this movie? It's supposed to be a comedy. It's just supposed to be dumb and make you laugh and think a little bit. But I don't know. I feel like people are just expecting too much
from a movie called Idiocracy.
Right?
All right. This will be the last 1-star we do. Then we'll do some other ones. Terrible by A. Jennings, 68-133, August 24th, 2017. I did not like this at all. The characters were just too dumb for me. I see it got some good ratings, so maybe it was just not for me. I found it painful to watch. I like Luke Wilson, which is one reason we got it. I think the actors did the best with what they had, but it was just not my cup of tea.
The reading, listening to these reviews just made me think of the movie. In the movie, the number one hit, Ass.
That's right. That's Ass. He goes to the movies and it's literally everyone's sitting there watching a movie screen
of just some dude's
bare ass. And that's the whole movie. And that what did the narrator says, like that won the Academy Award or something. And
then when Luke Wilson becomes president at the end and he's like, I want to live in a place where we care about whose ass it is and why it's farting. It's just so fucking ridiculous.
Yes. All right. Why don't we move on to some 10-star reviews and let's see some people that maybe love this movie even more than us. Let's see here. We've got 10 stars. The title of the review, Sixth Sense of the Zeitgeist. That's a tongue twister. Lucifer over Tinseltown. September gets cut off. I can't read it. Okay. 14 years ago, this film predicted with exacting accuracy the dumb it down dystopia we would find ourselves mired in 2020. Were the filmmakers clairvoyant, or is the human race just that predictable? It doesn't take a prophet to answer that question. Anyway, it should have won 8 Oscars that year, including Best Screenplay. There you go. Another 10 out of 10. As a prediction, full marks. Paris Impression HY. And again, the date gets cut off. I don't know what's up with that. This is actually a prophetic movie. Moreover, its predictions are very accurate. Well, it will be 2022 soon, and its predictions are obviously getting more and more accurate. Should I laugh or cry?
Is there any earlier ones that more closer to when it came out?
Yes, I see one here from February 7th, 2008. Wow, scary with 2 smiley faces by Amit Kania. This film is quite scary. Well, what do I mean by this? I meant to say that it frightens me as this is our possible future. No joke. Watch it and cry as your grandchildren will suffer. Take a long look at our bleak future. Sad face. It is logic. Successful people, educated, career minded, will not have children or might have one or two max. Yet the lazy arses getting unemployment benefits, child benefit, and such will keep on multiplying like bunnies. Outcome: idiocracy. Apart from the sad reality factor, smiley face, they managed to take the P out of everyone. I didn't really get how they were still advanced, had cars, big plasma TVs, weapons, clothes, considering everyone was so dumb. Smiley face, smiley face. No one could do anything right, yet they had all this technology and food, lots of fast food. That's one thing I wish got explained. Maybe they had monkeys working in factories?
Well, and I just want to say with that, the food obviously shows it's not natural food. When you think about all these chemically processed, GMO, fake kind of foods, that's what they're eating. It's shit. Like they're eating, what's that thing out of the tub? I'm blanking on what it was called. And I'm like, what is that? It was like eat it by the fingerful and they just like scoop in the bucket and they're eating it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Uh
It looked like
fat,
Cheese Whiz or something. I don't know
I
what
don't
it
know. It's
was.
tough to say. And then they had all this fast food, which to me said because it's not actually real meat. It's not anything healthy. It's just shit. It's garbage. And the other thing too is they kind of I thought set it up where all the smart people kind of took care of everything for them. So that's why they have it.
Here's another review, 10 stars.
I like, by the way, how I'm explaining it like I fucking know. Uh,
How is this movie not better known? By Garth Lotel, February 24th, 2018. This movie is genius. It is hysterically funny, plus has a storyline that is eerily prescient. Oh, there's that word again. It is art in its greatest form, satirizing the state of society and our rapid demise spiral towards Huxley's Brave New World. A must see for anyone who is worried about the future of humanity.
Want to do one more? Give us
One
something
more.
good, a good 10.
A good 10. Oh, geez,
Yeah.
I haven't read any, so I'm just kind of picking them. All right, here's the last
Pick
one.
good.
Okay. I'm looking. Give me. Thanks a lot for putting that pressure on me.
You're welcome.
All right. 10 out of 10. Mike Judge predicted America's future by Boat Top, June 19th, 2020. But sadly, the future is not 500 years from now. It began in November 2016 when President T capital R U M P was elected. Why is it written like that's weird?
I don't know.
Okay. The idiots are now
T-rump.
T-Rump was elected. The idiots are now running and burning this country to the ground. And this film shows the morons and how uneducated 40% of Americans are. Mike Judge is a modern day prophet. Now, if only the 60% can get out and vote and possibly save this world from Hitler's spawn and his brown shirts, make Idiocracy a fairy tale. Sad face emoji.
Some of the shit people say in this review, you're seriously judging a group of people because they like NASCAR. You think they're fucking redneck hillbilly fucks? Like, wow. People need to step off their high horse. It's just all the judgment.
I love how you're getting so mad because
I'm not mad. It's like, wow, the judgment.
What do you think? What do you think you're gonna find? I'm gonna ring one last one.
Okay.
10 out of 10. I wish it didn't ring so true by Holly Jim, January 28th, 2021. Thoroughly enjoyed this cringeworthy movie. Some people give up on it too soon. There you go. And that's that.
Short and sweet.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, well, but that's the thing though with the internet. Everybody has an opinion, and a lot of people will write reviews like that.
But you're generalizing a major group of people.
But that's our society now. We've talked about this on our show. That's everybody has to be put in a group. Everybody's labeled as something
and divided.
And divided. That's just what it is.
But it's just proving the point that they fall into it.
It's ironically the people who are most educated are the ones that are most easily manipulated, and most easily are the ones that they're the ones that do a lot of that stuff. The educated people are the ones that
because they've been allowed themselves to be indoctrinated for so long.
that's typically what happens.
Pre-K through all that college.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it. That's Idiocracy. We went on a bunch of side tracks and side tangents and side conversations like we
hope
typically
you
do.
have fun with us.
But hey, that's what we do here.
Yeah.
So until next time, 3 years.
3 years. Happy anniversary
3
to
years.
us.
Happy
anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy.
Is that like is that something you just made up on the spot?
No.
Is that from something?
Wasn't there like a movie and they're at a restaurant?
I don't know.
They're doing like the happy anniversary.
I don't know. You were looking at me as you're doing it, like I'm supposed to catch on and know what
it
you're
was
talking
like they're
about.
like happy, and they kind of like because something happened. I can't think of the movie now. I'm blanking on it. If you know, please remind me.
You got me. I don't know. But
apparently neither do I.
Happy anniversary to us. And thank you to everybody that's stuck with us.
We love you and appreciate you.
And if you've just found us, well, you got 3 years of stuff to go back and listen to if you want.
Good luck with that.
Have fun. We sure did.
We did.
And here's to another 300 years.
Fuck yeah.
Boom. Yeah, there it is. All right. Until next time, I am the Golden Greek Alex Arion, joined as always by my beautiful, lovely, gorgeous, amazing wife, the lovely Monique.
And you've been listening to the Homewrecker Podcast.
We love hearing from and interacting with our hearers and watchers. Feel free to reach out to us on Twitter
at Homewrecker Pod.
You can also visit our website, homewreckerpodcast.com, where you can check out past episodes and pick up some Homewrecker Podcast gear from our online store.
Also, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe or follow button wherever you're hearing or watching our show. That way you can be notified whenever a new episode drops. We're on all major podcasting platforms, and you can check out the video versions of our show at YouTube and Brighteon.
You can also find Monique in a few places online as well.
I'm on Twitter @_MoniqueGiselle_. If you're interested in a tarot reading, organite, incense, candles, and other cool things, you can go to my website, tarotbymonique.com. Or if you're interested in hypnotherapy, you can go to innerstandingshypnosis.com to schedule a free 20-minute consult. And follow me on Twitter @MoniquePCHT. And Alex, how can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter @TheAlexArion. And you can check out my website, AlexArionFitness.com.
And if that's too much to remember, we get it. That's why we put it all in our show notes.
Thanks for spending your time with us, and we appreciate all of your support.
We do. Thank you. We love you.